Hello everyone, this is indeed Cena Parodies, and I know maybe you have no idea that this is what I actually look like, or this is how I sounded, that I'm a guy. Do I care? No. But what this video is going to be doing is describing the collection that I have behind me of Cena games that I have gotten over the past year or so to pretty much what I had in my childhood. And I'll be explaining, what I think of each one of them in a brief detail and pretty much give you a little insight of what you might be seeing soon. Even during the pandemic, I'm still working, so I'm going to be expanding this collection by quite a bit by the end of the year, and I should be making an update by then. But for now, we're going to be going over pretty much what's there. So of course, if I'm going to start, I might as well start with the first four box-shaped games. So the first one that we have is the original black box Scenic game. Now this one actually does have the DVD movie game on it. Originally, it was just called Seen It by itself because pretty much the creators didn't think of expanding it until later into development. Through archives on the internet, you could actually learn that Dave Bunk, who created this, actually created it kind of as like a little party thing to do with friends. And when he made it into a fully fledged game, he knew that this would be expanded and that he could make a real profit and a business off of this. And that's pretty much where we get this game. Now, I bought this maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's pretty much run-of-the-mill you expect. It has the very aged Seen It movie disc, so there's a lot of issues with certain animations. The timing is never right. A lot of the audio sounds very muffled and glitchy, and it's not very nice. Something else worth mentioning is the fact that I actually have a signed copy of the front box. The other pieces right there, the yellow box, is what this belonged to. I found this on eBay maybe about 2 weeks ago, and it's signed by Craig Kisner. And he was the original investor for the company of Screen Life when they were first, developing the game. What's interesting is that I found Craig himself on his business website online and got in contact through email. And I was able to confirm that this signature is 100% authentic. Not only that, he also told me about that he actually has a few of these still in his collection of Cena games. So yeah, that's what's awesome about this. The reason I don't really have everything right now is the fact that I actually have it propped up on my wall because it looks good, okay? Now, pretty much if you understand anything about Seen It, you'll know that the next successor to this game is Seen It Junior, and this is the second box edition. So as you can see, it kind of looks the same with the same movie reels that was on the original, and in general, it hasn't changed a lot. Compared to the newer one, Seen It Junior, I didn't really get any differences besides To Go or Travel Edition, which we'll go over soon. Getting that out of the way, we move on to our last giant square-shaped box, and this is Seen It TV Edition. And this was one of those games that I kind of just had lying around. I didn't really play a lot because I had the original TV edition a long time ago, but then I lost it. That's why I have a new one. But yeah, this one, again, good game. Changed at the start because Cena Junior and the original Cena game had the movie reel theme. This one just had like a television theme. And if you ask me, it like very much shows that Screen Life was adapting to what their audience wanted because they wanted things beyond, film and stuff you had to be in the theaters to always see. And when it was things that you could see in television in your own home, expanded to a lot more people. Now, something else here I have is like the demo games that I have so far. I actually have 2 more on the way. So the first one I have is a special edition mini game, Scene 8 Junior for Velveeta Cheesecake. I don't know. It's basically like a demo disc. It has just like a couple all-play questions, a couple my-play questions, and yeah, it's a very small game to play. Similar thing, we have a Wendy's Kids Meal Nickelodeon version. This is game disc 1 because there's actually 2. I have the second one right here. The inside is filled with like a bunch of puzzles that you'd see on the back of like a cereal box. Just what any kid would want in early 2000s. What is this? There's no copyright on here. Oh, 2008. All right, 2008. This is what kids played in 2008. So we have something else interesting. So when stores wanted to buy things like Travel Edition from Seen It, they wanted something that looked a bit more kid-friendly, and instead of like a tin, which is what the Travel Edition was in, instead opted for plastic, and they made the To Go Edition. Now, something important to see is that this is pretty much just a Travel Edition disc with a To Go label slapped on it. That's pretty much what it is. The inside is exactly what you expect, the 4 magnetic pieces, blah, just except the plastic cover and label To Go. The labeling is slightly different, but it really doesn't matter. This one doesn't even have a back. Moving on, of course, we have the Seen It Junior To Go. These, all 3 came out in the same time, including the TV edition. Again, just, normal stuff. Television To Go. And then they also decided to throw in music To Go. Now, I don't have the Marvel edition, or I think there's a Disney one and an 80s one, but it's a work in progress, all right? The collection is expanding. But yeah, these are more things that I have to go for to go. Well, that's all I could grab for now. Let's get some more. So pretty much what I'm going to be covering here is the rectangle shaped boxes that I have for the Cena games. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I mean by the fact that these ones are literally shaped like a rectangle. Something to note here is that I think that they did this because they saw that television went from 4:3 aspect ratio to 16:9. So I think what they did is that, hey, you know, televisions are starting to have like a rectangular shape. Maybe if we did this, more people would buy it. And, you know, I can see the reasoning behind that, but it's like, there's a lot of drawbacks with this. For one thing, the quality of the parts inside seems very limited compared to before. And if you check, because the depth is actually shorter, the board itself is actually smaller, which is kind of just annoying, but maybe it's supposed to fit more stuff. I don't know. It's kind of inconvenient, and if it really is going to be that bad, then make it a tiny square. But either way, this is the movie Cena edition. So this was actually the first Cena that I collected back in 2011. I remember since I loved this game when I was a kid and I would always watch my brothers play it, I always begged my parents to get me one, so they just got the normal run-of-the-mill one that they found on Amazon back in the day and just got me this. It's a great game. The disc is actually updated from the original Cena with a lot more improvements. It seems like there might be a little bit more questions, and yeah, in general, good game. Next, we have Cena Jr. Now, this one's relatively empty because it has a lot of the parts that I take with me whenever I go see my girlfriend because she loves playing this game with me. But yeah, so this one was one of the first ones that got the major like Mattel branding stuff slapped all over it, and you can see that, you know, it's pretty normal. What you'd expect from a Cena game. Yeah, this is probably one of the ones I spent the most time playing. This was the first one that I actually got for myself aside from collecting, because I got this as a gift from my aunt when I was a kid because they knew I loved Cena because I was always watching my brothers play it, and they're like, hey, you want one? I'm like, yeah, sure. So they got me the junior one, and yeah, again, around the same time when I was very little. Good game. You know, I can't say much about it. It didn't change much from the original Square Box game, but it is what it is, and it's probably one of the best-selling ones. After that, of course, we have the television one. Again, normal what you expect from a rectangular Cena game. The exact same as the old television one. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. Of course, it's pretty much just all like the other ones, you know, got your normal television shows, and yeah. Now this is another one that I got gifted to me, and this one's pretty beat up compared to a lot of the ones in my collection. There's a dent here, and there's a lot of sun bleaching on it because it sat in my attic for a while when I wasn't caring about this collection for a long time. But yeah, this is another one that I got gifted to me. I think this is one of the ones I also played the most because of how much I knew in it. I was always the person that watched the earlier Nickelodeon shows, especially on Teen Nick, whatever that other Nickelodeon channel was that featured like all the old episodes, like the Fairly Odd Parents, whatever. I would always watch those instead. So yeah, it's a good game, very practical for a collection because it's something that I enjoy playing, and I would recommend if any of you are starting the collection, start one of those. It's one of those ones you could actually play and enjoy. Last one we have for the rectangular ones is the Disney 2nd edition. I'm working on getting the first one. As you expect, this one was gifted, and you know, it's just a normal Cena game. This one, again, one of the ones I probably played because it has a lot of the good, you know, movies, Disney movies and stuff on it. So I would highly recommend you guys get it because, again, it had all the relevant movies that I watched at the time, and yeah, didn't change much over the last games before it. And now we're going to be going to the last segment. So the first thing we have is this Cena 2nd edition Deluxe. Now here's the thing. I know how Deluxe Edition works. This is probably the worst Deluxe Edition I have ever got. For one thing, they were trying to sell it to me for $80 on Amazon, which I was absolutely not doing, so I found a shrink-wrapped version on eBay for $25, including shipping, and this is what I got. Now here's the thing. It's already in a small box, which means that the board is going to be smaller, the materials are not going to be great, because of course it's going to be cheap, because at this point, when they were making a lot of the games down the line, they got worse and worse because the branding and overhauling companies kept telling them, you know, if you make it cheaper, we're going to make more profit and we'll make your company look better. And of course, as a business, it seems like they bought into that because a lot of these things are very cheap. And not only that, the tin lid of this thing doesn't even fit on right. So, I mean, quality control can't be that good. But realistically, the extra bonus that you get in here barely gives you anything, and I would highly not recommend buying this if you were going to spend over $35 on this, because truly it's not worth it from a practicality standard. At the same time, you don't want to empty your wallet for simply a single collection item that you can get with the Cena game. So next we have the Deluxe Movie Edition, this is the original one. You can see it has the old type of movie reel box art stuff it had. So this one is by far the best Cena game I have ever added to my collection, and I got this just recently. Now here's the thing. This thing not only has probably the most added content I've ever seen to any Cena game, but it is quality down to every point they could have done. Now here's the thing, I understand this thing originally retailed for $79.99, but now that I really look at it, it probably would have been worth that much. Now I used to have this a long time ago, but then my brothers pretty much destroyed all the stuff because we moved and we lost all half the stuff on our way there. But not only that, you get a bigger board, you get a different original disc. Here's the thing. This thing comes with 2 discs. It says that one is the original. It's actually not the original. It's the original, but with a lot of deluxe changes. Like a lot of the animations look different. Some of the questions actually look different. And a lot of what I see on it looks better quality, like it's higher resolution than what it was before. But I could be wrong because that means they would have to actually limit the amount of questions that they originally had because of how much space was on the disc, which was about 13 gigs at the time, I think. Either way, I'm instructed. It also came with a bonus disc. Great, 4 extra categories you could do stuff on. Really an amazing game. So last but not least, we're actually going to be skipping the travel edition, so I'm just going to leave there because I'm too lazy to bring them over here. At the same time, they're pretty much the exact same as the to-goes, so I'm just going to move on to our last item here, which is the Deluxe Movie Edition Modern Tin. Now here's the thing. They did right. With the movie second edition, the thing was tiny. You can even see it. You can see the difference in the size. This one's way bigger. So again, you get the original Deluxe Edition disc, which is actually not the original Deluxe Edition disc, and I'll be covering that in another video why this tin is very inconsistent with the Deluxe Movie Edition games. But besides that, you actually do get a normal bonus disc. You know, it's decent quality. The board itself is actually much bigger than it normally is, so that's very nice. Now, this is the first modern collection item that I bought, meaning that when I started working and I had a job, I would find games like these on eBay and Amazon and actually start buying them. This was the first one I could find. And again, decent game, worth your collection, and I'll explain in another video why this is inconsistent. Well, I hope you enjoyed. That's pretty much my collection at the moment. And yeah, in terms of sequel packs or edits that I'm going to be making with CNET, that's slowly starting to bring to a halt, but I will be uploading another Junior Sequel Pack 2 edition, and that will be coming out relatively soon, so you guys can look forward to seeing that. So yeah, this was a semi-face review, semi-update, semi-collection update, semi-something, I don't know. You take it the way you want. Until next time, stay safe from CNET Parodies.